Good morning, everybody. Friday. Avanice, how are you? Good to see you. Sent an email out for you this morning. I hope you saw it. And I already heard from a few people that they did see it and they were asking some questions about what it's about. So very, very cool. If you're on our list, you might have saw a quick email from me this morning with a really cool offer from Avanice, who is on all of our webinars. And as we saw last Friday, I seem to enjoy promoting each other. So if you have something you want to talk to me about promoting, let's do it. And we can work on that. But it is Friday. And if I have a little extra pep in my step this week, there's two reasons. One, I got a haircut yesterday, so I'm about 3 pounds lighter. So that'll give you a little extra pep in the step. The other thing is school started this week. So, fingers crossed for another great school year for my daughter, but summer was a challenge this year. And if you guys watched me the last few weeks, I was running on fumes, but here we are. School is back in session. Summer is winding down. You know what that also means? That the webinar attendance is going to start creeping back up. We're going to have more people coming to the webinars because summer, I had so many people say, I'm just going to catch the replay because I'm traveling, I'm on vacation, I'm this, I'm that. So we've got some really cool stuff planned. Actually, I'm talking to Heather about maybe even throwing together this Finish Your AI project workshop very, very quickly, as early as next week, which would be fun if we can pull that together. It might be the week after, but we did talk about it yesterday. And RC is backstage, Heather is backstage. They're helping with questions, comments, and getting things done. Who is really tired of explaining your business over and over again to AI? Meaning every time you go to write a prompt in Claude or ChatGPT, you feel like you're kind of giving it the same information over and over again to get started. Like, well, you got to know this about my business, or you have to know this about this thing that I do, or I can't just tell you to write a web page for my business if I don't give you all the details about the product or the services, right? I know for a fact that many of you have just lived in the world of prompts. Just prompts, just general prompts. You go in, you prompt something. What do you want to say? What do you want to do? What do you want AI to generate output-wise back to you? And some people have told me that they've even gone to these places. They see an ad on Facebook and it's like, we'll give you our entire library of 4,562 prompts, right, that you can use so you can get the best results from AI, right? That's out there. Sometimes it's not 4,000, whatever number I just said, but sometimes it's the 50 best prompts to use, right? We actually did that. We did a 50 best prompts to build an AI website based on industry. And it was just really just showing you how our AI builder can build sites so easily. The thing is, we need context. AI needs context. It needs references. It needs its SOP, its standard operating procedures. It needs to know the backstory. And you don't want to type that every single time. So a while ago, Claude and ChatGPT, they put out projects. Projects have been there for a long time. You can create stuff and then you can keep all that stuff in a project so that when you go, it does have kind of a backstory, right? So projects can fix a lot of the backstory. But then when you go in to write stuff, you should have specific instructions for how you want these things done, right? Now, today, I'm going to focus mostly on Claude. And the reason why I'm going to focus most on Claude is, if I move my notes over here, is because Claude is the only tool that I know of that will allow you to create skills on the free plan. So you don't need a paid account. So I wanted to try to be as exclusive to everybody on the webinar, or inclusive, I should say, inclusive to everybody on the webinar. If you're using ChatGPT free, you can't write skills, not as of yet. If you're using Google Gemini, you can't do skills. You can do gems, which are similar. It's a set of instructions that you can call and reuse. So that's the most similar thing. But first, let's talk about what a skill is, right? You put your process down once, and from then on, the AI does your job the way you want it to be done every time. You don't have to remind it, right? So think of it as an SOP. It's a standard operating procedure. I also will come back to this later. It's also like a recipe, but within the recipe, you can then take that skill and have the cook come and build it the same exact way every single time for consistency, right? So think of it like that. You got the recipe to the best. What would I like a recipe to? The best meatball sub, like meatball, spaghetti sauce and meatballs, right? You need the best recipe. Everybody's got the best sauce ever, right? Or the best way to ingredients in a meatball, right? So you need that recipe. And then you've got somebody, AI, that can actually follow that recipe every single time without worrying that there's a little too much salt or a little too much tomato sauce or a little too much Italian seasoning. I don't know that any of those things could be too much of, but anyway, I guess salt maybe. So inside that skill, and all it is, guys, all a skill is, it's a text file that you could write in Notepad, right? It's really all it is. It's got a different extension, like instead of a TXT, it's an MD, but it's just a text file, and it needs a name, it needs a description, it needs the steps of what it's supposed to do, and I'm going to show you one, and you guys should have one already. If not, I think we gave it to you in the email, one of the emails this week. But if you don't have it, we're doing a follow-up one to write a follow-up after a meeting or after an appointment. And then the rules, what it shouldn't do, you don't want it to do. And then an example of what it looks like when it's done right. Okay. It's just a text file. Just typing, I'll show you what they look like. They're very simple. And then you can just use that skill and all those instructions very easily. Where you write your prompt, you put a slash and your skills pop up, and you click on the skill that you want, and then you paste in what you want to run the skill on. And we're going to show you all that today. But let me just tell you about the differences first, because I did talk about, skills and prompts and projects, and I even mentioned gems, which kind of my fault. By the way, if at any point you want to stop me, you've got a question, put it in the comments. I'll keep coming back to the comments. We'll check it out. I'm going to be sharing my screen here in just a second. And but let's go through some of this. So a prompt, if you guys have been following along since we started these back in January, a prompt is one request. You type it once. It doesn't live anywhere except where you're typing it. It's good for one-off asks. Think of it as your search when you're using AI tools as like your search box now, right? Like tell me the best place to get pizza in Greensboro. And you might do that in Google. You might also do that in Gemini or Claude. I don't know why Claude you, but what does it mean if I have apodudiomaloma, right? And you can get some information on whatever that thing is, right? So one-off asks. Write me a basic email response template. One-off ask. Write me a basic 6-page website for a landscaper in Greensboro. Include a home, about, services, contact, and FAQs page, right? And then you give that prompt to the AI builder, and it builds the website, right? Prompts. You're using them one time. Projects are a folder inside your AI tools. It's a folder that holds all the context for your ongoing work. You can add stuff to projects. Like if you have documents, brand guidelines, brand style, you've got product information, pricing sheets, SOPs, you've got all that stuff already built. You put that into a project, which is a folder, and that folder lives inside of that AI tool. Like you could have a Claude project for your brand. And that's really for like the one big thing that you keep coming back to, but you can run chats inside of your projects and you can run your skills inside of those projects, but it's just giving it all the context you need, right? And then you're giving the skills or just the sets of instructions. Now, a gem is like a skill, but it just lives in Google Gemini, inside the Gemini app. You can't like say, oh, I want to use my gem in Claude. Can't do it. But it is very similar. It's a set of instructions, lives in Google. If Google is where you work, if you're in Gemini a lot, gems are good. You can use them as repeat tasks. I have a gem inside my Google Gems that is Jay the AI Guy's image reference guide. So whenever I need to create an image using my cartoon Jay the AI Guy avatar that you've all seen, I can go into Gemini, I can go to that gem and I say, show Jay dribbling a basketball. And it will create the AI version of me dribbling a basketball from that reference. So I don't have to explain what Jay looks like, what Jay wears, what my hair is like, or that I don't have the mustache, I only have the chin hair. Like all that stuff is in there, right? So that is a gem, but it's good only in Gemini. A skill is pretty much the same thing as a gem, except they're portable. You can run a skill in any of the tools that you can upload a skill or an MD file. And most of your AI stuff is all MD, markdown files, which are basically text files, right? So think of it like this. And if you got the notes, I don't know if RC's put the downloadable resource in here today. Hey, D, I see that you're here. If you have that, you'll see that I'm really following closely along with the quick start guide today. But in there, you're going to see that the big difference between just a prompt and a skill, a prompt is like sending a text message to a friend that just says, hey, what's up? You have 3 days left of PDO. Maybe it's like a friend, like if you're a coworker, right? But a skill is the entire employee handbook chapter that's written out, and then you can prompt that handbook. So think of it as in terms of like notebook LM, which I talk about all the time as well. Like if you uploaded all of that stuff, then you can just query those things. But again, a prompt lives once. The skill you're going to call over and over and over again. So let's say, I'll share my screen now. Let's say we do a lot of meetings. Anybody else like me? You're on Zoom calls, Google Meets, what is the other one? Teams, right? But you're on video calls with potential clients, potential referral partners, everything, right? Avenice, you're on there all the time, right? If you're on these calls, a lot of us now, we get our meeting notes, right? And those are great. Tools like Fathom and Otter and all these, Granola. There's so many AI note taker tools now. They're great. How do we make that work with a skill? Well, after every meeting, it's nice to have a follow-up email, right? So we're going to show you. Nope, I picked slides. I didn't pick screen. Screen, share audio, share Claude. And I want to go to Claude real quick. All right. So I'm going to talk about how you build skills, or how you get more skills, how you acquire skills, how you use skills in just a few minutes. I wanted to show you that inside of my Claude account, these are the skills that I have currently, right? And they all do different things, right? All of them have a special set of instructions. The one we're going to work in today is called Follow-Up Writer, right? And if you click on it, you can see that in this Follow-Up Writer skill, which is skill.md, right? There's actually conversation types.md as a reference, so you can have other files that reference one another. But what you can see, you could read through it. It turns a messy conversation into a professional follow-up in one pass. Most people lose deals and drop commitments, not because the conversation went badly, but because the follow-up never got written. This skill removes that gap. Feed it whatever you scribbled down, and it produces something you can actually send. So you're taking notes, you're writing stuff down, or you get the notes from Fathom or Otter or your transcript of the call, right? You get that, you copy all that, and we'll show you how to use it. So the one thing that needs to go in skills and it's very easy to edit this, you want to have in this skill or in your skill any specific information about your business. And I over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be talking deeper and deeper into skills. I suspect that in 4 weeks, you're going to have skills that can do so much time saving for your business, that they know everything about you. I'm going to give you one in a couple of weeks that can interview you to build out an entire skill about your entire business and brand. Not today. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but yes, we've got some of this coming up. But anyway, so I've got in this particular skill, my name, my business, what we do, how I sign off on the email, because this is for writing emails, right? This is for follow-up. How I sign off. If you guys have seen me, if I've ever sent you an email, you will see that I usually use 2 different sign-offs on my email. I'll either write cheers, J, or I'll write best, J. I don't like doing like thanks or, you know, sincerely, or just putting my name. Like cheers if it's an upbeat, positive, moving forward, looking forward to tone. Best if it's something maybe a little more serious, a little more formal, a little more, you know, laying down the guidelines, expectations. Maybe it wasn't the, you know, maybe just more sincerity of something that wasn't just like, you know, if we're gung-ho and we're going forward, like if I just close a deal and I'm sending a follow-up, like, thank you for, you know, getting a JourneyBuilder account or starting your 30-day free trial. Can't wait to see you on the inside. Cheers, Jay. Or it could be like, sorry that, you know, we missed a meeting that you had on our calendar. We had an emergency come up, and I just want to make sure I got back to you as soon as I could, and would love to reschedule. Best, Jay. Right. So those are kind of my tones. You pick a tone, right? You can do warm and casual, friendly, professional, direct and brief. I like warm and casual. I like all of them actually. And then your booking link, if you have one, and phone number, right? So follow-up writer is one that we're giving to you, Avani. So you won't have follow-up writer in your Claudes, but we're going to give it to you. If you if we haven't already, I'll make sure that everybody has it today. I feel like it was in one of the emails, but if not, I'll make sure you guys have Actually, I need to give you guys follow-up writer now. Let me see if I can share it. I can't do that. I can download it. I actually have it downloaded. Let's do this. Actually, I already have it in my Google Drive. Let me share it with you guys first. I'm pretty sure we sent it out, but maybe not. Let me grab this one for everyone. Follow-up writer. 8/21. That's today. Follow-up writer skill. And this is the single file. Copy this. Copy this. Share with Google Drive. That's what I wanted. Share with Google Drive. Sorry, guys. I didn't even think about that. I should have made sure everybody had it, or that we gave it to you. I want to make sure you guys all have this. So what you want to do is you want to make a copy of this. Actually, you can probably just download it straight to your computer. Then you'll edit it when you put it in Claude. Claude can edit. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'll give you this link. And I'm going to put it right in here in the chat. All right. It's a Google Drive link. When you get it, you should be able to download it. It'll be a .md file. It's called follow-up writer single file.md, and you'll be able to load that into Claude. Let me show you how we do that. I'm going to go through it, then I'll show you how we put them in and use them. All right. So I'm not going to go through everything on the skill, but I want to talk about the first thing is read the notes and pull out the facts. So whatever you're putting in there, we want to know who was in the conversation, what they're trying to solve, decisions that were made, concerns, blah, 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 what I'm committed to, what they're committed to. So we know what's going to come next. Bucket 4, matters more than people expect. Concerns, hesitation, and objections they raise. That's a follow-up that we have to address. Bucket 8, open questions that nobody answered. We don't guess at it. We get some information about that. Step 2, then it's, now remember, the AI is doing all of these instructions. So I could say, hey, I need to write this email, but just so you know, this is all the information about my business. This is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to check for and verify. Then I want you to produce all these parts. Imagine if this was like our prompt and then we had to do this more than once, right? A lot of people say, how do I write a good prompt? I would just say, first of all, you have the AI do it for you. But then if you're going to use it again, you want to make it a skill, right? So, and then we got 4 to 6 bullets that the user can drop into their CRM or notes, make it short, simple checklist split into mine and theirs. Rules that keep it trustworthy. Don't invent prices, dates, discounts, timelines, or guarantees. Don't promise something on the user's behalf. Never state a person's title, company detail, or personal fact that was not in the notes. Do not exaggerate enthusiasm. If the notes read lukewarm, the email should read professional, not thrilled. When the notes are genuinely too thin to produce a real follow-up, say so plainly and ask for 1 or 2 more details. Voice rules, short paragraphs. So it's got all of this in it, right? It's a long skill. And then if you're actually using JourneyBuilder, you can actually we could put in a workflow. We have skills now inside of there, and then we can actually say, go ahead and send it. So you don't then have to copy and paste it and send it. You just say, send it to so-and-so, or send it to this user, and it will do it. So that's kind of a different next level. So, so if you go into Claude, you go on the left-hand side, you go to customize. And then on the left, you'll see skills, connectors, and plugins. If you're on the free version, you should see skills, probably connectors as well. I'm not right sure, but you may not have all these options. But skills should be there for you. And then, if you downloaded that plugin, you come up here to add, and you upload a skill, and you upload that MD file. Okay, go to upload a skill, and it's looking for the file. Now, it can also be a zip file that has multiple sets of instructions in it, which would be your entire skill folder. But if we just have it as an MD file, that's just one text, one set of instructions, very simple. You can have multiple sets and references and stuff. You can do like an entire folder project type of zip file that has, as long as it has a skill.md telling it what it wants to reference. The one I gave you is a single file one, right? So just drag and drop it right in there. It'll upload it and you'll be able to use it. Here's another cool thing. If you're not sure, you can click on Browse. Anthropic, the company that makes Claude, they've already built a ton of skills that you can use. For instance, there's I have some of them already installed, but like brand guidelines, you can actually use this skill, customize it for yourself, and then overwrite this one, and then you have your brand guidelines. One of the ones that I had, you can also go to plugins. I think these might be free. Let's see if the plugins are here. Plugins are really cool. Plugins are grouped skills, right? So let's say I have the marketing one. What's in it? That's what I want to see. Yeah, here you go. So inside of here, there's also plugins that have 8 different skills. So if I install, and also connectors. So they're connected to different third-party apps. So imagine you like have the Canva plugin, or that you have this marketing plugin, and you want to create an image in Canva or create content. It can connect to Canva or Figma, right? And it can do it inside of Claude. You're just talking to it, but you'd have to make that plugin. So for now, we're going to stay on skills, but there's several different skills, and each skill has different instructions for that thing, right? So we're not going to go into that now, but just going into skills, you can, if you want to find more skills, we'll show you where all those skills are. But it's so, there's so many places that you can get them. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is actually using the skill. And I don't know why my notes now don't want to move off of, sorry. Okay. All right. Showed you how to install. Okay. Download the file. Got that. Upload the file. We're there. Now, I mentioned in the follow-up writer skill, there's this section that wants you to put in information about your business, right? Or a little bit about you, a little about what you do, how you sign off and all that. So here's what I do. When you're in the skill and you upload that skill, it's likely just going to be like my name, blank, right? There's a couple things you can do. And I like this. If you also want to know how to create a skill, here's the cheat sheet that could make you leave this webinar right now and know everything else you need to know. Just go ask Claude to create you the skill. Claude can create you a skill. It can create the skill for you. You can also say, hey, I want a skill that can do this, but I don't know everything that needs to go in it. Can you ask me some questions to build the skill out? So if there's something that you're going to want to do over and over again, have it do it. So you can click edit with Claude. I'll show you when I did that, actually. Right? So inside of Claude, I wanted to edit the skill. So I put into Claude, and I'll put this prompt in here. I'll put in our prompt for this. Help me edit the follow-up writer skill using Skill Creator. I need to fill in the blanks for my business information. Now, if I had just gone into skills, the follow-up writer skill, and I clicked edit with Claude, that's the prompt it's going to put in there for me, right? So you see, you don't really need that. And then what it'll do, I gave it a little bit extra because I wanted to fill in the blanks for the business information. So I told it what I wanted to edit. All right. So that was the reason for the second part of the second sentence in that prompt that I just shared with you. But what you'll do is you'll click on it and you can make a change to it. And then you'll get Claude will actually say, do you want to test it or are you good? I just put update the skill once I had that in there, and it ran through and did it and said, here's the updated skill. I clicked update skill. And when you click update skill, it's going to say, do you want to replace the follow-up writer skill? There's an existing skill with the same name. Uploading it will replace the existing, which can't be. Upload and replace. Boom. You've updated your skills, right? Just using Claude, right? So I'm going to show you some differences between before and after, right? So before, now I used, actually, let's do this. I'm going to say I was using the skill here. I'm going to take some garbled notes. I'm going to open up a new chat. I'm going to say, I want to write an email to the person I had this meeting with. Here are the notes. Talk to Maria at Riverside Dental Tuesday. Front desk drowning in voicemails, missing maybe 10 calls a day at lunch. Want something to answer after 2 hours. Worried staff will hate it. Feels impersonal. I said I'd send over how the after, and you could see my like grammar plugin is like, this is terrible. she said she's talking to her partner Thursday, budget maybe 300. So that's some notes you might jot down or you might have. Like if you had a note taker like Fathom or Otter, you'd get way better notes than this, and then you'd have a much better reference point. But I wanted to do something kind of ugly, fast, quick and short. I'm going to not even say write. I'm going to say send or create an email. Right now, I'm going to hit this. I want to make sure it doesn't use. Now, something it will do is sometimes it will, see, it's doing it. Loaded follow-up writer skill. That's what I didn't want it to do. So here's another thing. Claude then is very smart. When you say what you want it to do, if you have a skill that'll do it, it's going to say, "Ooh, no, I want to give you the best answer possible. I'm going to load your follow-up writer skill." So even when I try to get Slick to write a bad email, it now has that skill because it knows how I want all my follow-ups written, and it pulls it in automatically. I didn't even have to call that skill. Okay. And look at that. Perfect. A fix for Riverside Dental's lunch rush calls. I wanted to show you a bad one, but I can't because I've loaded the skill. I don't know if I can say don't use the skill. I don't know why I would don't use the skill, but I don't know if I could say don't use this skill and show me bad. But anyway, we don't want to do that anyway. So it actually used it, and it gave me a great message. Now, this is currently everything that I would need. Gave me an internal recap, gave me some next steps, what's supposed to be done, give me there so I could take my next steps and add these as tasks in my CRM, and then check these before you send. So make sure you go back to this email because we did say, or wait, where is it going to send it? Send the... I left it out of the email on purpose. Maria's exact role wasn't in the notes, so it didn't assume one. And if you want, I can format it so it's ready to drop straight into a JourneyBuilder email step or campaign. The recap can go on her contact record. So this would be more if you were using the AI inside JourneyBuilder, because we now have skills inside of JourneyBuilder. But anyway, so this gives you the recap, gives you the message to send, knowing exactly how I want my emails to be written. Meg, welcome. All right. And I wanted to see, I think I did one before I put my information in the block so you can see the difference. So you see how this was good. Hey, hi, Maria. Great catching up with you Tuesday. That lunch hour scramble you described, losing around 10 calls a day because the front desk just can't keep up. Exactly the kind of gap this is built to close. Here's a short version of how the after hours piece works, blah, 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 blah. Right. It's very, very much like something I would write. And then cheers, Jay, it's this, right? And it also says want to grab 15 minutes to walk through it together. Before I put in all my information, this is what it was giving me. Even with the follow-up writer. So even if I called the skill and said use the skill, it was giving me a pretty decent email, but it was just, it gave a quick recap in bullet points. I probably wouldn't do that on an email. I like to talk in sentences. I don't like formatting email, like formatting and stuff. On the staff, hey, I worry. It's not bad. It has cheers, Jay, but it doesn't have all of my business information in there. Like, I think it just said cheers, Jay. It didn't put my phone number. It didn't know the phone number. It didn't really understand everything that JourneyBuilder does. It just talks about that this is a real problem, and it kind of does go a little bit into it's there to catch what you're currently missing. But it just seems very like matter-of-factly. It doesn't seem like a really good warm email that I would actually write. And that was using that follow-up skill, but it didn't have like my business, how I talk about my business. You can also upload things that you've done in the past, like emails that you've sent in the past. You can upload some when you're creating your skills. You can say, here's a sample of 5 emails that I've sent. Or ask me questions, or have me give you a writing sample. What do you need to understand how I write? But uploading things that you've already done, you've already created, is always really good for getting it to nail the right tone. Okay. So here's, so I thought, this one actually, this last one, where was it now? Yeah, this one here, where it's got just the paragraphs and we don't have all the bullet points inside the email, and it puts in my phone number. This is definitely way more how I would want to use it. Right now, if I didn't have the skill in there and I just said, what I had said earlier, I want to create an email to the person, here are the notes. If I didn't have that skill in there, it would be very interesting to see what it would put or how it would write it. Right. But here's how you use a skill. You go into the write a message thing. Obviously, if you have the skill, you don't even have to do this, because you saw that I just put in what I wanted to do, and Claude actually said, I've got a skill for that. Do you remember when iPhones first came out, and even Androids, but like Apple was the first ones to do it, and they were like, there's an app for that, right? Well, Claude is like, there's a skill for that. I have this skill. I'm going to use this skill because I'm smart and I'm AI and I can use these skills. So what we've got here is you can just tell it what you want to do. And if there's a skill for it, it's going to use that skill. But you can just type a slash in your chat box. See that slash? It's the one next to the shift bar on Windows. Same one as the question mark, right? But you don't have to hold shift down. Just type that slash and all your skills are going to come up here. All the skills you have, and then design skills, sales skills. These are from those plugins that I got before. So I have pipeline sales or design and sales skills. And then here's my follow-up writer. And when I click on it, it puts it in blue and it's going to use it. And then I can just paste in what I want. So it's very easy. Skills are very easy. They're not, we can demystify it very easily in just saying, like, this is the instructions that I'm going to use every time I want to write an email. These are the instructions I'm going to use every time I want to make a social post. These are the instructions I want to use every time I need, this report to be analyzed and run and summarized, right? This is what I want it to look like. This is what I want to see. This is what I want it to do. Because then you can load skills. You can actually stack those skills, stack those sets of instructions. Once you've run this skill, you should have. So let's think about this. Again, I'll go back to the spaghetti and meatballs, right? So now I'm going to have Italian food for dinner tonight. Anyway, we go back to the spaghetti and meatballs, right? We've got meatballs. We've got the spaghetti sauce, got the spaghetti, right? Well, making those are 3 different things. Like, what is the recipe for the meatball? What is the recipe for the best sauce that your Italian grandma used to make, right? What is the best way to cook spaghetti? And there is a best way, right? I mean, it's easy to be overdone, right? And you never want it underdone. If it's crunchy, not good. If it's like melting in your mouth, it's not good either. So, but think about that as like 3 different skills, and you can stack them. So you can say, all right, once I make the meatballs, I want to make the sauce. Or once I make the sauce, then I'll make the meatballs. I'll put them in the sauce, and then we'll let that go. And then we'll make the spaghetti, and then we'll put it all together. All right. So you can stack those skills. In this, I could stack a skill that says follow-up writer to write the email, then email send, right? Or contact lookup that would go tell the CRM to go look up the contact and then send the email. Now, ours is a little more intuitive than that, but you can actually have multiple skills. You can also say, like, a social media post, right? We need to create the image. We need to write the copy. We need to know the platform. So, well, what skills do we need to use to write the copy? What needs my brand guidelines? It needs my brand voice. It needs my brand tone. It needs my, business information, right? So it's calling all those skills. And then, we need a skill that's like, how do we want the copy to be written? Do we want to use bullet points? Do we want to use this? Do we want to use that? And then you see how you can put it all together, and you don't have to write out a thing that says, write me a social media post. And you could, don't forget to do this, 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 and this. Well, it won't forget if you call the skill. So you just put a slash and put it in. But again, once you have a skill there, Claude's going to know if it should look up that skill when it's doing something for you. Does that make sense? Anybody have questions on that? I can wait for a few seconds before I move on. But in plain English, guys, this is so easy. It's really a prompt that you're going to want to reuse over and over again. So you don't forget it, right? You can just call it. It'll be a set of instructions. All right. It really saves you a ton of time. Because you don't have to re-explain yourself. So I would build the skills. All right, how do I build a skill? Right? Well, there's easy ways to build a skill. And we're going to go into more of them next week. But let's just say, you go into customize in Claude, and you're in your skills, and you click on the add button up here. Create with Claude, write skill instructions, upload a skill. So there are directories out there where you can upload skills. I found one that had like 1.2 million skills. The problem is with a lot of those skills, it's a lot more tech heavy because the skills are very involved to do lots of automations and do all these things. So you have to be careful. Like next thing you know, you'll be getting a GitHub account and you'll be trying to figure out how to version projects. And just stop. A skill at its basic core, and everything that I want to teach you guys is just a basic text file of instructions, right? So the easiest way to do it is create with Claude. And what it'll do is it'll put a chat in here. Let's create a skill together using your skill creator skill. First, ask me what the skill should do, right? So click send. Now, there's a skill creator skill that Claude is loading. See how easy this is, guys? All right, let's build it out. What should it actually do for me? Here we go. Here's a great one for me. And you guys will like this, right? Build out sales playbooks for JourneyBuilder verticals. Actually, better yet, generate Google Business Profile listing strategies for local service clients. It should kick in when I invoke it. And enter the type of service business. What should the output look like? Yeah, I would say the output needs to, you could give it to me in a doc. Output to a doc. So it's going to go and it's going to do this. By the way, if you guys notice, then you may have, some of you might be looking now. You'll see I'm running Sonnet 5 high model. Sonnet 5 is one of the Claude models that's been out for a while. If you don't have to do anything super advanced or create like a lot of visual type things like design type things or PDFs or anything like that, Sonnet is a wonderful model to use. There's Opus, which you've seen me use a lot, and then there's Fable for most people on paid plans. Fable I hardly ever use. I don't do anything that crazy, but it's more for your coding and your really problem solving on the higher end. Sonnet is good. So you'll see, all right, what do we want in our Google Business Profile strategy doc? Okay. Every business, all of your businesses, you should have a Google Business Profile. All right. So here I'm building a skill that can create listing strategies for local service businesses. So I would like the full strategy, description plus keywords plus categories plus geo modifiers, full strategy. You can see I've done this before too. Claude is saying, hey, you've done this before. Do you want to do this again? So I'm going to say, yeah, descriptions, keywords, categories, geo modifiers. Besides the business type, what else should I ask for each time? I would say business type plus city plus service area plus any existing GBP info to improve on. That's a good one. Also, the few competitors to differentiate from would be a good one too, but we're going to do this one. And the output doc, when we run this skill, do we want it to be a markdown file or do we want it to be a Word doc? And I would just say that a markdown file is fine because you can open those in Word docs. You can open them in text files. But again, markdown files are just really text files. So we'll let that run. If you guys have questions about where I'm at, just share them in there. It's really, this is very, very rudimentary, taking you from like just prompting into reusing your prompts in a skill, and how Claude is the only like free plan thing that you can use that has skills. That was easy to show you. ChatGPT, I think skills are only available once you pony up either $8 or $20 a month with them. I think it's even the $20 plan. And then if you got the download guide earlier, gems, if you're using Gemini, gems are similar to skills, but only with Google. These skills you can use in any of the platforms. Awesome, D. Yeah. Guys, let AI be your creative voice, like that little voice inside your head. Let it be the angel on this shoulder and the devil on this shoulder too. There are skills that I will show you as we go forward the next couple of weeks that will give you pushback on things. And you can basically create an entire team of advisors. Like be the devil on my right shoulder and poke all the holes in this thing, right? And it will have the instructions of how it should do that with you, right? And you can call that, call it shoulder devil, right? Or shoulder angel, and you just slash shoulder devil, and then it will run that skill with stuff that you give it. So, all right. So skill validates. Here's a draft, quick summary of what it does. Every time you say something like GBP strategy for business, it'll ask for business type, city, service area, and any existing GBP info in one pass, no back and forth. Fetch the website if you give one, then build a markdown doc with the same 9-section structure from your village roofs job. Categories GBP. So I actually had a client. I have a client that I was doing this for, right? But here's a good one that we can just say. So let's do, okay. Let's do this. Generate a GBP strategy for an HVAC company called Comfort Air in Greensboro, North Carolina, serving the Piedmont Triad, trained comfort specialist, family owned, 15 years in business, full inputs, no website, right? And sure. We're going to test it. We're going to make sure the output is what we want, right? Because we might get it. We might like, I don't really like that output. I'm not going to want to use this skill over and over again. But if you're like, oh my God, this is exactly what I need every time I want to run it, then go ahead and create the skill. So it's going to test case. Actually, somebody go ahead and put in some basic information, location, company, industry, put it in the chat. And I'll test the next one with yours, right? So maybe I can give you some Google Business Profile stuff. All right, so here we go. So here's the output. Google Business Profile and Directory Listing Strategy, Comfort Air. HVAC contractor. No website was provided, so services and keywords below are based on standard HVAC industry offerings. Swap income for AIR's actual services list if it differs. Here's the categories, primary and secondary. Here's the service entries for on Google Business Profile. You put in services. Hey guys, somebody just got like a business they can charge like $500 for and update somebody's Google Business Profiles all day long for any vertical. Rhonda, I'm coming to you. I'm going to do it. Okay. Thank you. You're the first one in. I will do yours next, Rhonda. All right. Services entries. What do you put in for your services? Here's your money keywords to use. The highest intent. Here's your geo-modified workhorses. So this one, you can pair each core term with the location. This is good for local on Google Business. So like HVAC company, Greensboro, AC repair, Greensboro, furnace repair, Winston-Salem, HVAC contractor, High Point. So you put in the location and what you do. And here's all the core terms that we want here. You're going to want to do more with these, and you can put these in as keywords and services. And also, I always say go a step further. Build pages that are website pages that are optimized with these keywords. Now I'm moving more into my AI, my website design and stuff. If you guys haven't built your websites, you might be like, what are you talking about? Or SEO. But this is really good. It's a good place to start on all those strategies. Here's some trust and differentiator keywords. And you can use this not just on your Google Business Profile. You can use it in your search engine optimization. You can use it on your website. You can use it in your marketing. So everything we're doing here is going to be great for all of the local online digital stuff that you can do. If you have questions about that, book a 15-minute call with me. I'll run through this with you and talk to you about Google Business Profile. Everybody needs to optimize their Google Business Profile. Then you're going to see this. It went a step further. Long tail and AEO, GEO. Anybody know what that means? You don't have to answer in the comments. All right. What does this mean? Long tail and AEO, GEO. I'm going to tell you. Long tail are, you guys heard about keywords. When you go to a Google search and you type something in that you're searching for, like restaurants near me or Thai food near me, right? That is a somewhat of a long tail keyword because anything more than I think 2 or 3 is considered long tail. Long tail are what are the searches that people might actually put into Google that are longer than just like HVAC Greensboro, right? That are going to indicate that they might be transactional in nature, like they might be looking for the service. And I want to come up in the results for that. It's really good for paid Google ads, if you're running any paid Google ads, right? So it gives you that. And then AEO, GEO, this is the AI optimization, right? So do you want, when somebody types into ChatGPT or Claude, do you want to be recognized in those results? And there's more to do it than, you can't just put these keywords in, but you can build web pages and then you can submit to you can write for AI. There's a lot of things. There's schema. There's a whole bunch of things. So I can't do a lesson on search engine optimization or AI or generative engine optimization that we have here. But these are really good to have on your website to answer these questions on your website and maybe make pages for that, your FAQs, also putting it in your Google posts. How much does a new AC unit cost in Greensboro, North Carolina? If I searched that in Google, chances are I'm looking at buying a new AC unit and I live in Greensboro. The company that answers that question as it's written or is paying for that long tail search in Google Ads is now going to come up in the result, more likely to come up in the results, especially if they're doing paid ads for that, right? And they're going to be the first thing I see. That company. So this particular company, right? So long tail, you can, man, I really went off of tasks to doing an SEO lesson here today. You guys are getting your money's worth, double the fun. But these are some extra things you'd want to put. And then seasonal and event triggers, suggested Google Business Profile description, keeps you under the number of categories, strategic recommendations, right? All this stuff, right? So it gave me all this. Like, is that what I would want if I wanted to get a Google Business Profile strategy? Would that be good output for doing a Google Business strategy? Yes, that's phenomenal. I can't even think of what else I would add, right? So now it gave me that one. And then I'm going to say, I love it. Let's do test 2. Okay. And it should ask me what I want. And I'm going to put Rhonda's information in here. She was first. If I ask you guys to comment something, I'm usually going to take the first one I see because I know they don't come in instantaneously. Oh, shoot. No. Stop. Test 2 should be, it was doing the suggested one, the mobile detailing place. I want to do Rhonda's. So test 2 should be this business. Rhonda. Actually, I'm just going to copy him. I can't do that. Yeah, I can't copy from those chats. Rhonda Proctor. Photography. Winston-Salem. NC. And RhondaProctor.com. Awesome. Rhonda. Oops. Oops. Proctor. Did I spell it right the first time? I did. RhondaProctor.com. Rhonda's scared. Uh-oh, eek. No, this is going to be good. All it's doing is I'm going to give it to you, and then you're going to go edit your Google Business Profile later. This is awesome. Don't be scared. We're not critiquing it or grading it or going to show you how bad it might be. I'm not doing any of that. This is going to be fun. Now, if you get it, if you see this and you're like, ooh, then you're like, well, now we know what AI knows about you, or the web knows, and it might give you some good ideas of like some new website pages you might need. Anybody needs help, there's we put in a coaching call, 15-minute coaching call link earlier. If there's a QR code, it might be above my head. I need to change the default layout to this. But anyway, it should be up in the corner. It's a QR code with a blue duck in it. That blue duck in the QR code, that if you scan that with your phone, like if you pull it out and scan it right now, you'll be able to sign up for a 30-day free trial of JourneyBuilder. And you can do a lot of this stuff inside of JourneyBuilder. But we can build your website, give you the optimization. We can optimize your Google Business Profile in there. We can manage your entire CRM, all your automations, your entire pipeline movement. Every customer you have takes a journey. They come in as a lead or a referral, and then they might book a call with you, and then you talk to the call, and then they might do business with you, and then they might leave you a review, and then they might refer you to all their friends. Like, there's a journey there, right? How do they find you to how do they refer you? That journey is usually about 8 steps in that journey. We build that. That's what we do. That's what I do. That's what Jay, the AI guy, does, and my team does for a living, is we actually build and put those pieces of the puzzle together for your customers so that you can just show up and provide a wonderful experience for those customers. You just need to show up and do what you do best. You don't need to worry about the tech and the things that are making people, go through that funnel. We build that for you, right? So if you need help with a website or any of that stuff, check it out or book a call with me. The link is there. You can book up. There's both links. Thank you, RC. See, RC's on it. He's like, oh no, book a 15-minute call with Jay, but really you should also get a 30-day free trial to JourneyBuilder. And after 30 days, we can talk about the $97 a month that it costs if you just want to do it yourself, or what it would cost if you want us to continue to build it out. There's my sales pitch for today. All right, here we go. This one's a good stress test. You gave just name, city, and website, no explicit business type or differentiators. So I did say photography. The skill pulled real content from RhondaProctor.com, the actual portfolio category, service area towns from her meta keywords, the fine art, wall art angle, instead of guessing generically, and flagged where it inferred things, business type, the art gallery category. So you know what to double check before it goes out. So it split the strategic recommendations. It flagged missing trust signals. And so let's look at it. So here's Rhonda Proctor Photography. Business type, fine art and portrait photographer. Wasn't listed specifically. I think it would have just said photographer. So if that's good, then we've inferred that from the website. HQ is Winston-Salem, North Carolina service area from the site. Advance, Mocksville, Clemens, Davie County, Forsyth County. Here's the source. Here's the categories. Primary category would be photographer. Secondary, and this is only what's confirmed, service entries, portrait photography, senior portrait photography, prom photography, pet photography, commercial. Like, you need to put all these services in your Google business listing. Money keywords, photographer near me, right? That's always the big money keyword, right? Near me. Everybody puts near me, right? There was actually a company in New York. It was a restaurant. They named the business, it was a Thai food restaurant. They named it Thai Food Near Me. That was the name of their restaurant business. It was on their sign, Thai Food Near Me. And their website was thaifoodnearme.com. And you know how much traffic they got? Like, unbelievable amount of traffic. So you can see the picture of it on Google. It might be fake, but the case studies I read show that it's real. Portrait photographer, senior portrait. So all these things, geo-modified. Here's your workhorses. Pair each core term or keyword with the location. Portrait photographer, Winston-Salem. Senior portrait photographer, Winston-Salem. Senior photos, Winston-Salem. You should do that on your website. You should make these pages on your website. Trust and differentiator, long tail. So I love the output it's given. I'm not going to go through all of it. Here's a Google business profile description, strategic recommendations. So here's some strategy. So I could basically say, Rhonda, I will optimize your Google business profile and give you everything you need to make it fully optimized for $500. And you would likely be like, yeah, that sounds awesome. And I can go now and I can type, once I make it, I can type /GBP profile thing and put in exactly what I put in. And I can take this document here. I can click on the open in Drive link that's in here, or just copy it. I can share, go into what I just pulled for you here in this Google Doc, right from Claude, right? I can click share. I can click viewer. I'm going to give you view access. I can give you the editor access later, but because I'm just going to put the link in the chat, you know, I want to make sure that you only have it. I can give you editor if you need it. You can just request it, but or make a copy of it. And then I'm going to copy that link. I'll collect the $500 from you, hypothetically. And I'm going to come here and I'm going to send you the link that I just dropped in the chat. And now you have this Google Doc with everything you need to do to update your online presence through Google. Everybody catch that? Everything you need to do to optimize your Google business profile online presence through Google basic search. Okay. I just gave it to you. You can send the 500 whenever you want. I'll be here for hopefully another, I don't know, 30 years, I hope. All right. 40 years, maybe. Life expectancy is getting longer. Anytime you want to send it, you can just send it. Just kidding. Yeah, there you go. Okay. I see some people jumping in to look at it. So, but here's where it gets fun. Here, I got to bring it all back to the skills, right? Okay. I come back into Claude. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Say, let's make this a real skill. Sounds like both tests landed well. Let's package it up. It's going to give me the skill file. GBP listing strategy skill packaged and ready. Click the file to save it to your skills. Once it's saved, just say something like GBP strategy for business in city, and Claude will just take care of it from now on, right? It'll build the same exact doc, and I could just go sell these now. Matter of fact, I have them for sale. They're $500. If anybody wants one, let me know, right? But all I'm going to do is I'm going to save the skill. Guys, I went into that not knowing what skill I was going to create. I just told Claude, hey, let's build a skill. I was like, cool, what do you want to build? Here's some ideas. I said, oh, this idea sounds good. What do we need to do next? Oh, great, I'll do it. And like you saw, I just did it in real time. We're going to be talking about skills a lot over the next couple of weeks. So I updated the skill, or I installed the skill. So now if I go to customize and I go to my skills, here's the first one, last updated, GBP listing strategy. Now I can go in any chat in Claude. Let me open up a new chat. Blank chat, and I type /, right? I just put in the / GBP listing strategy, and I put in Avanice Thompson, your business bar. Avanice, I think you're around Greensboro. I'm just going to put, and then yourbusinessbar.com. And I'm going to say business consulting. And that's it. It's going to do it. It's going to look it up, look on your website, try it in for information, and give us all that. Now, if I needed to get a Google Business Profile listing strategy that exact same way every time without a skill, I'd have to know to type all that stuff out every single time, exactly how I want it. Now, sure, could I just come in and say, I need a Google Business listing, Google Business Profile listing strategy for XYZ company? Yes, I can. And it'll give me some output, and it likely might be pretty good output. But you know what's going to happen the next time I do it? I have to remember how I prompted that last one. It's going to give it to me a totally different way, most likely. Will there be a lot of overlap? Sure. But it's not going to be the same 9-section framework and everything that the skill built out, right? Virtual coaching and consulting business. Here it is. It knows that about what you do. Group coaching, DIY Academy, live workshops, including one in St. Kitts. I can't wait to speak there. Not brick and mortar local services. I pulled her site content, grabbed the strategy and what's actually there. No HQ city. Okay. Florida, Broward County, flagged that as an assumption. So it's even giving us like, oh, I'll run your strategy for you, but here's some questions that we have that we can work through. And since your business is national, you probably wouldn't have a Google Business Profile specifically for local service business. But you might have a Google Business Profile for business consulting, but you won't have like the service areas because you're national. Does that make sense? So yeah, business management consultant would be your primary category, marketing consultant, educational consultant. Here are some service entries, profit acceleration assessment, right? If you guys got my email this morning, you know I was kind of helping here. We were promoting. Avanice is giving you guys a gift if you know me, if you've been coming to our webinars or you're a client of mine. Avanice gave a gift. You should have got an email this morning about that. So I wanted to run hers as well. And then here's a hub, geomodify. So there's a lot here to go through. So there you go. I'll give it to you, Avanice, as well. All right. Any questions coming in? We're good for another 20 minutes, but I'm not going to keep you guys here and hold you hostage. That's all the stuff I had to cover. Let me make sure. Let's see. If there's anything else. I want you guys to go create a skill. Just tell Claude, hey, help me create a skill. All right. Next week, we're going to be talking about stealing some skills, right? Most people make these widely available. Where do I go find more skills? These can change my life. Where do I find them? Then once I found them, I told you about a site that has like 1.2 million skills, and most of them are just way too complicated, right? How do we vet them? How do we know? How do we spot a bad one in 10 seconds? I'm going to include a list of 12 skills tested for small business next week. And we'll have some more skills for you guys to use next week. Week 3, we're going to talk about building your own. And we're going to really focus on each of your businesses. And that may coincide with a workshop that I'm planning where if you're working on some AI project of some sort, maybe you're vibe coding something, maybe you want to build a new website with AI, maybe you want to build a bunch of skills for your business, maybe you're trying to identify your marketing strategy using AI and you're like, I know it can be done. I see people talking about it all the time. I don't know what to do. We are creating a workshop which will be called Finish Your AI Project Workshop. I want to get done. Let's get it finished, right? You've been working around. You're like, oh gosh, I got to change this. I got to do this. I don't know where to go next. I don't know what to look at. I just need somebody to hold my hand. I'm going to hold your hand. We are working on it. It will be a paid workshop. It'll be several hours. And we will jump in a Google Meet together. Everybody will be on video. Everybody will be on camera, but you don't have to leave your house, and everybody will be able to share their screen. And we will go through and we will see what everybody's working on, and we will help you finish your project. Don't be afraid of somebody coming and stealing your idea for a project, because guess what? Your ideas are all able to be stolen now, right? So don't worry about it. Just if there's a project, we're going to work on it. And that'll be a paid workshop. So it will be private. It'll be exclusive to the people. We are working on that. It'll coincide around this way to build your own skills, because we're probably going to do a lot of building our company skills, because it'll be time after next week's. And then in week 4, 3 weeks from now, I promise you 100%, if you don't like it when I talk about JourneyBuilder, or you're like, Jay's just pitching his product, his automation AI operating system product, I don't like it. I want to just learn AI, and I don't want to be pitched. I promise you 3 weeks from now, I'm going to be showing you how to connect your skill right inside JourneyBuilder so that the work gets done instead of handing it back to you. Automations, AI, skills, managing your contacts, managing your clients, managing your appointments, managing your phone calls, all with skills, sending reply emails, all with skills. I am going to be pitching the heck out of JourneyBuilder that day. I just telling you now, if you don't want to be pitched on a free trial of JourneyBuilder or shown a platform that will change your life, do not register for the webinar 3 weeks from now. Don't do it. I don't want you to come on and be like, he's pitching his software. If that offends you, please don't show up 3 weeks from now. Okay? Fair warning. I'll say it next week and the week after. But I am going to pitch the heck out of a tool, JourneyBuilder, that I think every business needs. Every business needs. And we'll show you why. So any questions come in? Let me see what we got. Look at this. Here we go. Here's a question. Any limit on how many skills you can build within the free system? Claude free version, I think you can have unlimited skills. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I would have to ask Google that, or Claude. A limit on free skills in Claude free version. Probably didn't word that right. Question mark? No explicit numerical limit on the number of individual skills you can create or use on the free version. However, agent skills and custom instructions are governed by Claude's general free tier message and token limits. So you're going to run out. If you run it a lot, you're going to hit your limits, right? But yeah, no, you can have as many skills. You can have as many skills. That's another thing. A lot of the skills, if they're good, they're not going to use a lot of tokens, which is what makes you run out of your free credits. Okay. Avanice just said, I have created 2 while doing this. LOL. Awesome. She created 2 skills while doing this. I love that. I also noticed a few wows, Avanice and Rhonda. So you guys, thank you for being really active in the chat today. And yeah, this is I was so nervous to go into anything more than just like content creation and some other stuff, although I've done a lot of different tools. There's also some really cool tools that I'm checking out right now and playing with. I haven't done a workshop on those tools in a long time. So we may have some workshops coming up on that, but I really want to focus on skills. I want to get you guys into the idea that AI is more than just, that's cute, haha, I got to get back to work. Because that's what it feels like for a lot of people. A lot of people just feel like, well, that was neat. Now let me go back to doing all the regular work. I want to show you ways that you can use this to save you time. I want to get into the automation. And I want to show you guys a way that you can just deliver amazing experiences for your clients without worrying about everything running behind the scenes and just knowing that it's going to work. They're going to get the follow-up message. They're going to get the notifications. They're going to get the thing that you promised when they went to this page, right? Without you having to worry about building it and putting it all together and duct taping 10 different pieces of technology together to make this system that if any one part stops working or you can't pay for it anymore, that the whole thing falls apart. Like, I just want it in one cohesive system. That's what we're doing. Not seeing any more questions, so I'm gonna let you guys go and enjoy your weekend or finish your week out strong. Be thinking about your fourth quarter. We had a meeting yesterday. We did an Alignable meetup. I do Alignable if you're on the platform. Alignable, it's great. I did an in-person meetup in Greensboro yesterday. Met at Grapes and Grains Tavern in Revolution Mill in Greensboro. And the question I asked everybody was, what is one thing that you're going to do to make your fourth quarter strong and finish the year out awesome? And I said, I know it's August and we still have all of September before we even get to the fourth quarter, but I want to know that you guys are thinking about it now. What are you going to do to finish out the year strong? And you know what mine was? And Avanice is an extra plug for you. Mine was going through all my business finances and figuring out where I'm spending too much, how I can eliminate, how I can make more profit, what I need to do. And then you wrote me and were like, hey, you can, we have this profit accelerator. So we might be talking about that. I might be guinea pigging that with you, I hope. But yeah, I think for me, this is the way to grow. Be thinking about the way you're going to grow in this fourth quarter, but look at your expenses, look at your revenue, and chances are you can be in a much better position with a couple of tiny little tweaks. And I suggest that you don't come to talk to me about that. You talk to Avanice. Yeah, stop the leakage. Go talk to Avanice about that. I think it would be really, really helpful. And it can be your entire quarter strategy, fourth quarter strategy. All right, everybody, have a wonderful weekend. I can't wait to see you again next week when we continue to go deeper into this topic of skills. And we will see you next Friday. Take care, everybody.